The sky was darkened by heavy clouds, as though nature itself was mourning. Rain poured relentlessly, turning the dusty roads into rivers of despair. The faint sound of thunder rumbled in the distance, matching the somber mood of the day. A black hearse rolled up to the church, its tires crunching against the wet ground, as if it too was reluctant to move forward. The crowd gathered in silence, their faces hidden behind black umbrellas. The air was thick with grief, but also with whispers. Hushed conversations about betrayal, shame, and the truth that nobody dared speak aloud. The coffin was closed, smooth and unmarked, though the weight of its contents was heavy enough to bring down the strongest of men. As it was lowered into the ground, a hush fell over the gathering. The clink of the first shovel of dirt was the only sound, the finality of it hanging in the air like a suffocating fog. Kunle stood at a distance, his face obscured by a black umbrella, but his posture told a different story. His broad shoulders sagged, as though the burden of guilt, shame, and sorrow had crushed him. His eyes were fixed on the small mound of earth, but his mind was elsewhere, trapped in memories of moments that could never be undone. The wind tugged at his clothes, and for a moment he almost seemed to shrink before the crowd. It was impossible to tell what thoughts clouded his mind. Did he wish he had done something differently? Had he tried harder to resist temptation? Or did he simply wish that this nightmare would end? It didn't matter now. Nothing could change the fact that the woman he had once loved, the woman who had trusted him, was gone. Amaka was no more, or so he thought. As the final prayers were said, Kunle allowed himself one last look at the closed coffin. The soft murmur of the crowd continued, but in that moment he was no longer present. His mind had drifted, and the memories flooded back. Kunle got confused on seeing something or someone strange in the crowd, and the fact that he could read their thoughts, or so he thought. Maybe it was all a dream, one he'll soon wake up from. Kunle's mind flashed back to what happened before the scandal, before the whispers, before the world had come crashing down. Glory Fire Ministries was a beacon of light in the community. The church was packed every Sunday. The choir sang with angelic voices, and Pastor Kunle's sermons inspired thousands. The congregants praised him for his powerful preaching and his ability to reach the souls of those who had strayed. He was a man of faith, admired by all. Amaka had been a pillar of the church, beautiful, poised, and respected by everyone. Her smile could light up the darkest room, and her presence was as comforting as the warm embrace of a mother. She was married to Jide, the silent and distant husband who never seemed to fully engage with her or the church. They were a picture-perfect couple, or so everyone thought. But behind the smiles, behind the public display of devotion, there was something no one saw. The cracks in their marriage had begun to show. Amaka's loneliness was palpable. She often confided in Kunle, pouring out her heart about the pain of being married to a man who barely noticed her. Kunle, with his caring demeanor, listened intently, offering words of comfort. It started innocently enough, a few counseling sessions here and there. But the more time they spent together, the closer they grew. Kunle could feel the temptation gnawing at him, but he had convinced himself that he was only trying to help. He had always been the compassionate pastor, the one who could heal the broken-hearted. But somewhere along the way, the line between pastoral care and personal affection blurred. One evening, after a long counseling session, they found themselves standing too close. Amaka's tears had stained her makeup, her eyes red from crying. Kunle, caught in the rawness of the moment, reached out to comfort her. His hand lingered on her shoulder longer than it should have, and in that instant, something shifted. They both knew it was wrong, yet neither of them could pull away. The kiss was slow, inevitable, a culmination of weeks of pent-up emotions. And for the briefest of moments, Kunle felt a sense of peace, a fleeting escape from the chaos in his own heart. But when it ended, they both pulled away, shaken by what they had just done. The silence that followed was suffocating. Neither of them knew how to speak, how to fix what had just been broken. But there was no turning back. The secret was out, and neither of them knew how to bury it. The funeral service continued in the background, a dull hum of prayers and solemn faces. But Kunle didn't hear any of it. All he could think about was the past, the choices that had led to this moment. Amaka was gone, and now it was his turn to face the consequences of their actions. The whispers of betrayal were too loud to ignore, and the weight of the lies they had told would crush him for the rest of his life. Life? As the final prayer was said and the crowd began to disperse, Kunle remained standing, frozen in place. The rain had stopped, but his soul felt drenched. He couldn't shake the feeling that the world had ended. His world, his church, his ministry, all of it was gone. And yet, in the quiet of his thoughts, Kunle couldn't help but wonder, was this truly the end? Or was it just the beginning of something far darker? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Was the affair the cause of Amaka's death? Could the secret of their relationship have led to this tragic end? What are your thoughts on this type of betrayal? Drop a comment below. Would you like to know what actually happened? What went wrong? Who is to be blamed? How far was too far as a pastor and shepherd? What happened to Said, Jide, and Sarah? Please give us a like and share it with someone who might need it. Don't forget to subscribe for more raw, real stories like this.